Engines roar on a moonlit stage. Steel beasts roll a distant wage. Truckers' voices crying through the night. Tales of speed and endless fights. Miles and miles, all our strength we give. Hauling dreams, we fight to live. Lonely highways call our name. In this life, we find our fame. Neon lights and diner blues. Truck stops where we share the news. Turning wheels in endless miles. Stories fill the smoky aisles. Miles and miles, all our strength we give. Hauling dreams, we fight to live. Lonely highways call our name. In this life, we find our fame. Neon lights and diner blues. Truck stops where we share the news. Turning wheels and endless miles. Stories fill the smoky aisles. Miles and miles, all our strength we give. Hauling dreams, we fight to live. Lonely highways call our name. In this life, we find our fame. In this life, we find our fame. We find our fame. We find our fame. We find our fame.
Well, good day and good evening to you all out there in the trucking world tonight. I hope you got those wheels turning and that diesel burning there. Hey, we got a good show lined up for you tonight. We don't have a guest tonight. You are the guest tonight. So we're going to look for your calls to come in. I saw somebody tried to call just then whenever we had our opening on, but I tell you what, we'll try to call that number back here in just a few minutes, and we'll get y'all on the air here pretty soon. But we got to do our opening monologue first. So anyway, we always have an opening monologue before we get the show started. Okay. So, hey, Steve and I, we've been itching to get back on the air. We had a great guest last week with Courtney George from Reefs Across America. She is the one that gets all that together. She gets that transportation together, gets all those reefs to the cemeteries. She has a big job on her hands, and we were absolutely blessed to have her on the show. Next week, we got somebody from Truckers Against Trafficking coming on, because January is Trafficking Awareness Month, Human Trafficking Awareness Month, and we're going to have somebody from TAT on here with us. And anyway, I'm looking forward to that show too. But tonight, it's all about you. And we want to hear your stories about how you got into the trucking industry and some of the trucks that you've driven over the years. So we're going to look forward to that. We may even call some people tonight. They might not like it, but we might even call some people. But anyway, without further ado, I got to get my old buddy in here, Mr. Steve Brand, coming on in here, okay? He's rolling and he's riding, that old Steve Brand.
That's right, baby. We're riding and rolling. Riding and rolling. Today we was riding and sliding.
Steve Brand, what's going on up there in Tip City, Ohio, brother?
Oh, it's chilly. It's chilly. It's about 30 degrees. It's supposed to be a little warmer tomorrow. Had a little snow come through here today, I guess, but I fought that snow all the way from the north side of Columbus back to Columbus. So it got a little treacherous in some spots, but it's all good. We took an extra 20, 25 minutes to get to our meet point. But,
I hear you.
You know, better to be safe, slow, and arrive.
That's right. Exactly.
Because I've seen a few of them in the ditch. Seen a few of them in the ditch, but it's all good, man. It's all good. How's things down there in South Georgia? You got rain?
No rain yet, but we're supposed to get some weather coming in here. I guess this weekend and maybe the first part of the week, some cold weather and some of that good stuff there. So hey,
Right.
listen. Winter called, and winter wants to go back north. That's what winter told me. That the winter needs to go back north.
Well, that's fine. It could go back north, but it needs to go northeast. It needs to get east of the Buckeye. I don't need it up here. I'm done. I'm finished with winter. And I asked my nighttime dispatcher every time I walk in. She said, "How are you today?" I said, "I hate winter." I said, "Of course, you've already heard that about 300 times today, but." Hey, let's go ahead and get this out of the way. The views expressed on this show are those of the host and the guest only and do not reflect those of others.
That's right. I wanted to give you some music to say that with. So say it again with a little music in the background there, Steve.
Oh, that's cool. Look at us. Going fancy. All right, you ready? Fire up the music. We'll say
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
All right. The views expressed on this show are those of the host and the guest only and do not reflect those of others.
Hey, and what that means is you come on here, you work for a company or whatever you say, is not, reflective of the company that you work with. It's your opinion and your opinion only. And that's why we put that on there. We don't want to get any lines crossed, because a lot of the drivers that call in here are company drivers. So we don't want to get any lines crossed. So anyway, that's why we put it on there, Steve.
Exactly. Don't want to upset anybody. Don't want to make anybody mad. I see you, Ben. I see you down there. Florida is great. Yes.
Listen, Ben, if that was you that called, I seen the Florida number come up on the opening there. I could not answer it, but call back, Ben, if that was you. I got a 727 area code that just tried to call me a while ago. So, Ben, you call back, brother. So,
I know the only white stuff he sees on the ground down there is white sandy beaches, but I gotta say this: running into these little snow squalls and stuff like that, it keeps you on your toes, keeps you from getting complacent. It reminds you of what you actually do for a living.
right.
And you gotta stop. You gotta think about it. Slow down. Protect yourself. Protect those around you. Hey, we got a call.
I believe it's Mr. Ben Atkinson. Welcome to Truckers Voices. Ben, how you doing, brother?
No, this is Dave.
Hey, Dave. I'm sorry. I thought that was Ben Atkinson calling. I seen that Florida area code. He was just commenting on the other side there. Dave, how in the world are you tonight, my brother?
I am doing well, Tim. How are you doing?
Doing good. Hey, Dave, go ahead and tell everybody your last name because I'm not even going to try to announce that tonight. I'll let you do it.
Absolutely. My last name is Swearing, but I go by Big Wave.
Big Wave. Hey, say hey to Steve, 10 Speed, right there on the other side of me.
Hey, Steve.
How you doing, buddy?
How you doing, Steve?
Finer than a frog here, split 3 ways. What was that, sir?
I'm doing pretty good down here in the sunny Florida.
Oh, I know it. See, you're rubbing that in.
So Big Wave, tell us. I know I got up to right at 60 degrees here in Valdosta today. So what was it down there in Clearwater?
It was actually 58, 59 here today. It's been cool the last couple of weeks here, and I'm loving it.
I got you. That's right. You told me you love the colder weather. So yeah, that's right. You want to get out of Florida as soon as you can, right?
I do. I'm a Wisconsin boy, so I love that cold stuff.
I hear you, man. Well, we just opened up the phones for everybody to call in tonight. We just want to do a show like this, and we want to talk to everybody about how they got into the trucking industry. So if you got a short story to tell us, we would be glad to hear it there. Dave, sure would, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've been around the trucking industry all my life. My grandfather owned his own trucking company out of Chicago. My dad drove, my uncles drove, and my cousins still drive today. So it's been in my blood. And every time I get behind that wheel, it's just a big thrill starting that engine, and just a lot of responsibility out there. And I love all the responsibility on my shoulders.
So, Dave, tell us a little bit about how you got started in the trucking industry, some of the trucks you drove, the company you drove for, and some of that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I started 25 years ago with American Freightways. I started as a dock person, then became a driver. My first truck was an International sweat box, had no AC in it. Then I moved up. We had the Volvos and the Kenworths and Peterbilts, and to this day, I have a brand new Kenworth now with FedEx Freight.
I got you. So tell us, what do you do on a daily basis there? Are you a line haul driver? I know what you are, but I'm just asking for the listening audience. So you line haul driver, you city or what?
Absolutely. I am a city driver. I do a lot of city around the local area, pick up deliveries all day long, anywhere from 25 to 35 stops a day I'm doing. So yeah, we're hauling it, moving it around and everything. I love this job.
I got you, brother. I got you. So, what is some of the major challenges that you see on a daily basis out there delivering the freight? As far as the pickup and delivery.
Just a lot of people that really don't know the sense of driving around big trucks. You've seen a lot of people like cutting in front of you when you're backing up. They're cutting behind you. I had another incident today. Some guy was in too big of a hurry, so he went across the median in the grass, and it's just people just need to slow down. Just let us do our job, and we'll get the truck right in there. A lot of pedestrians down here in Florida riding their bikes along the sidewalks, so you definitely have to watch out for all of them also.
Yeah, that's definitely a must, especially going in and out of some of the businesses that you have to go into and customers you have to go to. I'm going to get off the mic here and let Steve jump in here.
Sure.
Go ahead, Steve. Go ahead, man. I caught you flat-footed, didn't I, Steve?
Oh yeah. I just sitting there waiting around. But how many stops do you say you usually do on an average?
Average day, I'm anywhere from 28 to 35 stops a day. I do every day.
Oh wow! Hey, I just want to say thank you for everything you city guys do, because if it wasn't for you guys making the pickups and the dock workers loading the freight, I wouldn't have nothing to haul. And I appreciate that. I really do.
Well, I appreciate you guys. Appreciate everybody. It's a great profession that we're in. So I appreciate everybody that's doing this job.
Yes. Dave, we're going to let you go, brother. We got another call coming here, brother.
All right, Tim, you take it easy, and we'll catch you later.
Hey, thank you for calling Truckers Voices.
Yes, sir. We'll see you.
All right. Steve, go ahead and do what you do best. I got to call him back. He just tried to beep in there, okay?
Okay. Well, sounds good. I don't know what I do best, but, I guess I just sit here and yeah.
Go ahead and talk there, Steve. That's what I'm talking about, man. Go ahead and talk.
It's all good, man. It is all good. It's a beautiful day. Everybody made it back safe. That's the main thing,
That's right.
Hello, sir.
Hello, Mr. Ben Atkinson, and welcome to Truckers Voices. You got Tim and Steve here tonight, so thank you for calling in there, driver.
Yeah, I've been kind of busy, been kind of missing your show. Sorry about that. You guys do such a great program. You hear that quite a bit. You know what I mean? So, I just want to reach out to you before the cold comes, to Florida. Probably have to take a snow day here pretty soon, probably next week. You know what I mean?
I can, I was telling Steve a while ago, I was like, y'all can have Florida back, and we're going to pack Florida up and send it back up there too. I mean, winter, and send it back up to Ohio where it needs to be.
No, it don't need to be.
Oh, absolutely. It needs to get back up there.
No.
I've driven a lot of years and never had to drive in snow, so I respect all of them guys up there.
So, Ben, what's been going on with you, brother? I know you've been putting it up and putting it down and hitting that city. So, tell us a little bit about some of the latest stuff that you had going on.
Well, I run the city of Jacksonville. I've started out, 36 years ago down for Consolidated Freightways. I ran the University of Florida slinging textbooks, starting to dock. Didn't know what a lift gate or hand truck was, you know what I mean? Never had a pallet jack. So times are a lot better now. Times is great, With the company I'm with now, we got lift gates. We got everything we need to get the job done pretty easy, So, but yeah, it's all great down here. And you want to know how I got started. I was always in sales and always in sales. When I got married, my father-in-law worked for Motor Convoy for cars, and he was a Carolina guy and went to Motor Convoy.
Uh-huh.
And I guess he didn't think I would make enough money selling to support his daughter. So he said, Ben, why don't you get in this whole trucking thing? So like everything else, I went up and took a road test for a company, and safety manager come out there. My father-in-law kind of got me in. 36 years ago. Hey man, I'm gonna get you in here. Let's get a road test. You know what I mean? And it's funny now to tell this story if people know me and where I'm at today. But went out there and we tipped the hood back. Checking the oil, this, that, and the other. Went to the behind the cab. He says, "Well, go ahead and take them glad hands off." And I said, "What's a glad hand?" So, you know what I mean? So at that point, just to be safe, I went to a local Votech school here for 6 weeks, or so, and went on through and got everything I needed and made sure I was safe first before I got on the road, and been going ever since.
Ben, when I first started in the trucking industry, I worked for a company called Transys Freight. Started out green, man. I actually had drove for Pepsi-Cola for 2 years, and but I started in the freight industry just green. And I remember my first trip they sent me out on at 3:00 in the morning. I was going to a Walmart distribution center, and I get over there with this old Brigadier tractor, and I'm riding down the road, and when it starts to get a little bit of daylight, I'm looking over there in the passenger floorboard, and I can see nothing but highway. I'm like, oh my Lord. And anyway, hey, that ain't nothing. Once I got over there and I was fixing to back it up, I had to get the seal off of it. And I'm like, okay, well, I just grabbed it with my hand and I just tried to jerk it off.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was a metal seal, and I just split all 4 fingers there.
Oh Lord.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I don't remember the name of the first truck I had, but it was big giant windshield. You sat down in front of the wheel. I don't know if it was a Ford. I believe it might have been a Ford.
Yeah.
But it was with Consolidated Freightways, big giant steering wheel, no AC. And it was the biggest windshield I've ever seen. But basically there was a hole in the floor. There was a piece of something covering it up. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
I drove that thing like it was brand new. But I'm so sure I'm happy where I am today.
All right, Ben. Well, I got another call, so thank you for calling Truckers Voices,
buddy,
man.
Appreciate y'all.
All
Thank
right,
you, Ben. Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, I think we got Scott Post calling in here, so let's go ahead and get with Scott here in just a second. Okay.
You talk about seeing the floorboard. I had a 81 cab over Freightliner single bunk stretched out to about 310 inches because we hauled I-beams.
Yeah.
Had a 45-foot aluminum 9-foot spread. No landing gear. So when you dropped it, you had to drop it on 55-gallon drums. But I had a block of wood in the left headlight. It had single headlights on it. Headlight, get out of adjustment, just get out and knock your block of wood, whatever way it is, straighten it up. And if I knew then, go ahead.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and take this phone call here because it is Mr. Scott Post from Minneapolis. Scott Post, how you doing tonight, brother?
Oh, cat got his tongue.
Hey, Scott Post, how you doing tonight, brother?
Hello, come in.
Let me hang it up and I'll call him back. How about that?
10-4.
Go ahead and talk, Steve.
What am I going to talk about? I don't have anything to talk about. I'm just a quiet individual. But no, what I was going to say, if I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't drive that truck.
Right.
No way I would drive that truck.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, let's see if we can get Scott on the phone here.
Let's see. I just got a message that I'm really quiet on YouTube, so maybe I need to turn my mic up a little bit here. Let's see if that works. Hello, audio. I don't know. Maybe
I think I lost the Bluetooth connection to the board, so let me get that set back up, okay?
All right.
I think that's the problem.
I hope it's louder. I don't know. Turn my mic up a little bit here.
Ben took my Bluetooth, man. When it hung up, Ben took my Bluetooth.
Well, truck drivers are to pick everything up on the table, carry it out with them. So
Oh, goodness gracious.
know.
Trying to get it connected up here.
Right. But yeah, I've drove some good trucks. I've drove some junk trucks. Been here, been there. Got 3 more states to go, and 4 more states. Hawaii. I don't know if I'll ever get to drive a truck in Hawaii or not. I may have to go there on vacation, rent a truck, driving across the island. Just say I drove in Hawaii.
Hey, I'm going to take it on my phone here because
All right.
that board wasn't connecting up there a while ago, okay?
Okay, that'll work.
Welcome to Truckers Voices. Who do we have on here?
Hi, can you hear me, Tim?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Hey,
It's a little breaking up a little bit.
Scott, let me get the board hooked back up, man. I'll call you back, okay?
Okay,
All right, Steve, go ahead and talk, man.
All right. Well, let me see. I got me another message here. I must not be. Let's see. Tim's blowing out my speakers, and you're quiet. Why am I quiet? I have no idea.
Sorry about
Nobody-
blowing out your speakers there, y'all.
No, nobody's ever accused me of being quiet either. What is going on here? Let me see what I got here on my audio. Maybe it's not hooked up right. Let's see. Let's try to go to that one. It won't go to that one. I have no idea. Can you hear me all right, Tim?
I can hear you okay. Yeah, I hear you fine.
Yeah.
It might be your gain. You might need to turn up your gain some there, brother.
Let me check it out and see what's going on here. Hang on a second there. Let's see. Audio check. 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me any better out there? I don't know. Matt, let me know if it turned it up any little bit.
Yeah, I can hear you. So that did help some.
Right. I don't know. You know, it's kind of like my radio on my truck. If it don't work right, oh well. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. But, well, we'll see. Audio, I don't know. Okay. So that's a lot better. It's awesome. Matt, you be safe out there tonight, brother.
Yeah,
Everybody be safe is out there, listening to us and picking them up, putting them down.
I think I might have something going on here. I don't know why that thing disconnected on us a while ago. So anyway, we'll see if we can call Scott Post back here.
10-4. 10-4. But
Here we go. There. I think we're cooking with hot grease now.
hello?
Hey, Scott, this is Tim. I'm sorry, man. My Bluetooth dropped out on us a while ago, brother.
Oh, okay, I understand it. I thought it was my phone. Mine like stacked up too sometimes. So
Yeah,
I guess we're
you know how it goes sometimes,
right. That's for sure. It's a little cooler up here. Maybe it shrunk the phone lines together or something. I don't know. Something like that.
Yeah, it was good to hear you there, Scott. So how's everything been going, man?
Oh, pretty well. Staying busy. We're going to just do a little unusual one tomorrow. We're going to go down to Joplin, Missouri, and stay overnight and come back up here. And usually we're just running to Madison, Wisconsin, and back, about a 500-mile round trip every day. But this will be something a little different. So I don't know if it's going to get any warmer, but we'll stay out of the snow that way.
Yep, absolutely. Scott, so you have some exciting business going on today. Can you talk about that?
A little bit. I'm not sure where it's going to go yet, but we had talked about possibly starting a state road team in Minnesota, and the president of the Trucking Association was more, at this point, wanting to start a group of truck driver ambassadors to help their state. We only have 6 people on the staff of our trucking association. So if you could send one staff member out instead of 2 or 3 and have a couple truck driver ambassadors go along for a touch a truck or any other kind of event, even a parade, a job fair, a career fair, assist the trucking association with that. They could be in more places in a given amount of time, if we were there to help them. And then we discussed a couple other things, and it's just going to take some time yet. We're trying to build some relationships with some of the other schools in the state and around the area, and where we can come in and do events and talk about safety and things.
Right, right. And that would be a great thing, and to get into some of the schools and to do the share the road programs, and even do some of the touch the trucks, for some of the kids, and it's a good thing. Scott, I remember you telling me one time, hearing your story about how you got into trucking, and it was interesting to me that you said that when you was a boy, you would lay in your bed at night and you could hear the roar of the engines coming down the road. Is that correct?
Yeah, I lived about 2 or 3. We were a small town and lived about 2 or 3 blocks from the paper mill. And we got those hot summer nights. We didn't have any air conditioning, so you always had the screen in the window. And some nights you couldn't sleep. And about every 15 or 20 minutes, you'd hear a 903 Cummins engine coming out of the paper mill and going up the hill towards the highway. Struggling up the hill with a 40,000-pound load of paper was a big load back then, and there was these 903 Cummins, 320 horsepower, struggling up the hill to the stop sign at the main highway and head out of town, and you could hear all of that in the middle of the night like that. And but it was always that you wondered where they were going, and you felt like you wanted to be part of it someday.
Right, and you are a part of it now. So, so Scott, tell us a little bit about some of your some of the things over the years. What's one of the strangest things that you've ever witnessed out here on the highway?
Oh, I'm not sure of anything strange. I've done a couple things that are a little unusual for some people. I've been over to Madeline Island, up at northern Wisconsin, where Lake Superior is. There's a town called Bayfield, and you could drive out onto a ferry and go 3 miles over onto this island. And I've hauled building materials over there and windows a couple times, and you have to be very careful when you drive onto these boats, because if you drive too fast, it'll push down on the boat, and then it'll pop back up and catch your landing gear as you're trying to clear that over into the onto the ferry. And the same thing coming off. You just have to kind of creep on and off, and it's about 3 miles over there, and it was just kind of different to be able to do that. It was it didn't make that much money, but it was a change of pace once in a while. It was kind of nice to do that a couple times, and just the service that we provided so that some people could build a house where they wanted to.
Right. I was telling Steve not too long ago, about a week ago, that this happened to me. I stopped at a place I normally stop to use the restroom every day on my way up to Atlanta, and I'm a little embarrassed to say this, but I went into the restroom, and in the stall there was this guy, and he was sitting there talking, and I thought he was on the cell phone, and he was carrying on a full-fledged conversation with somebody, talking about how he worked on the construction scene. Actually, he had fell off of a building, and even talked about divorcing his wife because he caught her cheating. And he was just having a conversation, and I was over washing my hands, getting ready to leave. He comes out. He was actually talking to himself the whole time. He wasn't on the phone. And then he started having a conversation with me, and I just had to get out of there. I was like, "Yes, sir. Have a good day." But it was kind of weird because you don't know when somebody's talking with a real conversation this day and time or not.
Exactly.
Oh, I know. It's you never know. You run into all kinds out there. I remember one time I thought I was in the middle of TV show. I brought some windows out into New York City to a place, and the contractor and the guy that had the windows, the contractor came up that bought the windows, and he was building a 3-story building. And he comes up and he says, "Benny, when are you going to bring me your windows?" He says, "Well, I'm going to give you the first floor tomorrow." "No, I want the windows for the 3rd floor tomorrow." "Well, you're only going to get the windows for the first one." And they were arguing back and forth with the New York accent, and it looked like something out of a TV show. And the guy that was helping me worked for this window company, and he's looking at me laughing, but I'm facing back out at these guys, so I'm trying not to laugh because it would look like I'm making fun of them. He's sitting there smiling at me, and I says, "This go on?" "Oh," he says, "they go back and forth all the time." He says, he says, "They say the doggone stuff."
It's you never.
Another
Go ahead.
Another time I had to haul some concrete forms into a job site out in the woods, and it was kind of a snowstorm. It wasn't doing too much in the woods, but there was about a 50 below chill factor over in Lower Michigan, north of Lansing. And we got back in there, and I tried to drive around and turn around, and there were some trees that they hadn't cut down, which were going to be part of their yard. And he says, "Well, we've got the oak leaves underneath, and there's only a few inches of snow on the ground, so we're just going to hook on to the side of your trailer with our 4-wheel drive, and we'll just pull your trailer sideways till you can make it around the trees." And so, okay. So it wasn't going to hurt anything, and slid it around. And he says, "Can you back up a little more now?" I said, "Yeah." And he climbs out. He says, "You know, you're the first guy that's come in here and not complained about having to back up." And I said, "Well," I said, "this is going to be somebody's yard. We're not cutting down a parking lot like a loading dock here or anything." And so we finally got everything unloaded, and it was time to get out of the woods there, and things were a little slippery. And so he ended up hooking his Ford pickup onto the front of my truck with a chain to kind of give me some momentum to get going. And I think we could have, if it hadn't been such an old truck, we could have made a good Ford truck commercial that day. He was pulling my empty truck out towards the main gravel road, and then we had to do some maneuvering around and to get everything just right. And he says, "Man," he says, "I think I'm going to call your boss and ask you to come out here again because you don't complain about this stuff." So we ended up going out there in the summer the next time when the mosquitoes were out.
Oh goodness. Hey, so Scott, somebody told me to ask you about the best safety tip at a railroad crossing.
Well, I want to mention a couple things because we've had some things happen in the country in the last 3 or 4 weeks that have been kind of tragic. The Federal Railroad Administration puts out an app called Crossing Locator. So, for instance, if you get an over-dimensional load, you can plan your route. Some of this, maybe where a lowboy got hung up on the tracks down in Texas, and an engineer and a conductor ended up getting killed. And they said, well, everybody's blaming the state for permitting them that way. And it's like, well, I still think the buck stops with the driver with any of this. And you look, and if there's a conflict, this app has information on every railroad crossing in the United States, and it'll tell you if there might be ground clearance issues for low slung vehicles like a lowboy or a drop deck like that. And so it'd be best to do your homework ahead of time instead of getting hung up on the tracks. However, things do happen sometimes, and if you notice on all railroad tracks, there's a little blue sign about 6 inches by 6 inches below the crossbuck, and that's got a crossing number. The government has given every crossing a 6-digit number and a letter, and you call that. And there's a toll-free number for the railroad that owns the track or is in charge of the maintenance, and you can call to a toll-free number. And if you get stuck on the tracks, don't call 911. Call the railroad first, because then they can start trying to get the train stopped. and avert a horrible crash. Where if you call 911, they're still going to have to call that number that's on that little blue sign. And now the train's 2 or 3 miles closer, and that may make the difference whether they could get stopped or not. So that's some of the tips I like to think about. But one of the main things is a railroad crossing is an intersection, and the big thing to remember is the train always has the right of way, and that's one of the best policies so you don't get yourself in a bad situation there.
That's right. Yep.
Exactly.
Wayne Ponsky just chimed in on the chat there. He said, brilliant safety tip there, brother. So, hey, you just educated a lot of people right there, Scott. So we do appreciate you letting us know that. I want to let everybody know that the phone lines are open. If you'll call 251-616-2151, we would like to hear from you. If I see you in the chat there, I'd like to hear from you if you're in the chat there. You got Wayne Ponsky in there, Mike Kohler. You also got Bill McNamee in there, Lloyd Howell, Damon Evans. Man, you got quite a few people in there, superstars there. If y'all want to call the show, we'll keep it generic. And we just want to know about your stories about how you got into trucking there. But
can I say something before I go? One more thing.
Hey, you got the floor there, Scott, until somebody calls.
Wayne and Wayne Ponsky, Ben, and several others, we all became road team captains a year ago today. It's hard to believe a year's gone by already, and you were part of it and mentoring us, a lot of us along the way. And
I was the bad guy.
And it was just. No, you were fine. That's come in handy a lot of times, and so it's been been quite a year, and I want to just say that that was one of the best weeks of my life down there, and meeting all the people that I have and the fellow road team captains, and Wayne and I usually talk a couple times a week when we're out here on the road in the morning. So just wanted to see it was a great day a year ago today.
Scott, you notice as the older we get and the more things we get into, time flies a whole lot faster.
It seems like it.
I know it is.
I've noticed that.
It just goes by. I was noticing some of your pictures on Facebook, coming up on a year already, and it's like, wow, where did the time go? I mean, it's just slips away, man. It slips away. Hey, I do got one question for you. All these years you've been trucking,
Yes,
I'm gonna go with the TDC application question. What's the weirdest or strangest load you've ever hauled?
Dispatcher brains.
Probably just taking those concrete forms over on a boat over, probably on the ferry and going over to Madeline Island. That's probably one of the strangest things I've felt. We did have a little. We did haul some cattle to Texas one time years ago. We hauled some livestock, and it was very hot summer, and so one of us would sleep, one of us would drive. You couldn't stop much more than 10 minutes doing that because it was so hot out that the body temperature of the cattle in the close quarters in the trailer, they would have been having heat-related health issues, and so we went and we had to keep moving, and we got the cattle down. A guy wanted to start a dairy farm down in Texas, and we hauled them out of Wisconsin, and so that was it was a quick trip down there, and but it was a job, and we were glad to do it.
Hey, Scott, we got another call coming here, so let's get this other call. But thank you for calling Truckers Voices, buddy. We'll be in touch soon.
Y'all be safe out there. Talk to you later.
All right, buddy. See ya.
Welcome to Truckers Voices, Mr. Mike Kohler. How you doing, brother?
Man, I am blessed, brother. I am blessed. Enjoying this retirement.
Hey, I tell you what, you enjoy it. You enjoy it because I'm going to join you soon, probably in about 6 years. How about that?
Okay, come on.
Yeah.
You'll enjoy it.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
You
yeah.
don't have to run over anybody.
Right. So, Mike, tell us a little bit about just briefly about how you got into the trucking industry, some of the companies you worked for, some of the trucks you drove, maybe some strange stories. Just anything you want to tell us here.
I got into business because I'm a third generation. My grandfather started a warehousing and trucking business in St. Louis. We're over 100 years old. I just retired from there. Worked for Associated Truck Lines, A&R, and Holland. And left Holland, went back to work for the family. Drove all kinds of trucks. And in 76, when I started driving legally, I was fighting in the yard before that. Yeah, I drove a 1965 International, 5 with a 2.
Good old
Same
5 and a 2.
No heat, no air.
Wow.
Yep. And then I got upgraded to a diamond reel, 5-speed, 5 with a 2 with a tandem. She's a running machine. She'd pull anything.
So
Enjoyed it. I mean, it's a great thing, man. Great life.
yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Steve.
You said your father or grandfather owned a trucking company there in St. Louis?
Yes, we own a local drage, what they call a drage company,
Oh, okay.
Eagle Drage and Warehouse.
Okay. It don't
So,
Yeah, it don't ring a bell. I grew up about 60 miles south of there. That's where I grew up at.
okay.
Down there in Bon Terre.
So, so Mike, how many years did you work for? It was Yellow, right?
I was a Holland. I was original Holland.
Okay. How many years did you work over there?
I was there 26 years before I went back to work for the family.
I got you.
When Yellow started playing their games, my cousin told me, come on back. He was retiring.
Yeah.
So that left me being a third generation and a fourth and a fifth generation working there now still.
I got you.
Wow.
So did you run city over there or did you run line haul?
I ran city and line haul.
Okay.
I ran what they call the velocity for a little bit. And at Associated A&R, we ran road and city.
Yeah.
Whatever they needed us to do.
Yeah. So
Right.
so tell me one of the weirdest stories that happened to you out there while you was running for Holland. Or one that comes to your mind that's
trying to get
memorable.
on the board. I was working in the city and running a pup route down in the city and went into a place we call it the Nut House, Arsenal Avenue. The psych ward. So I backed in, rolled the skid off, pulled it off. Gave the bill to the guy, and he said, oh, he walked away. About 45 minutes later, there's no guy there no more. So I go walking through the building looking for him, and I run into a guy. He'd been at lunch. He said, can I help you? I said, yeah, I just made a delivery. Gave the bill to the receiving clerk, and he ain't come back yet. He goes, oh, no, he's a patient here. Yeah, because the guy couldn't get the freight bill. I had to hustle to make that day go a lot quicker.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. That reminds me of my
I was
first.
working for A&R, and we had them cab over Freightliners.
Yes.
And they said, well, you're getting laid off in the city. You want to run the road tonight? I said, yeah, I'll do that. So I was going up to El Paso, Illinois, and making a swap with a Milwaukee driver. I hit the truck stop a little early. He wasn't there. So I didn't think nothing of it. Got me a coffee and was kind of sitting in the truck, kind of looking around. I was new to the line haul game. And I kind of laid my head over the wheel and was going to catch a little power nap in. Man, next thing I know, I hear horn blowing and lights flashing. I see this guy's eyes about big as circles. And I thought, oh, dang, I fell asleep on the highway, man. I'm jumping on the brakes, trying to turn the wheel. Moving. I'm sitting in the spot. I thought, man, I'm 35 years old. I'm going to have a massive heart attack and die.
Oh,
That's awesome. Go ahead, Steve.
I did that one night on the ramp over at exit 37 there in Putnamville on 70 over in Indiana. pull up behind a shiny honey, and I just cut the lights off.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't have no lights on or nothing. I laid my head over the steering wheel, and all of a sudden he fired that truck up, and he cut them lights on, and he cut them lights on, buddy. I looked up and seen my reflection in that door, and I thought I was going to hit him. I was on the brakes. Now this is the part that I probably shouldn't tell, but I couldn't get that truck stopped. I just opened the door and jumped out. And then I figured out everything was sitting in still and nothing was in motion. I'm like, and then I got thinking about it. I thought, well, how stupid is that? I'm going down the road and I just opened the door and jumped out. But you know, it was a tiresome night. It was a tiresome night. I'm telling you, I didn't sleep on a ramp no more. I'm telling you right now. I pulled the truck stop and went back there in the bed.
Now, you know, Steve, that reminds me of, people talking about, and I've seen it before, the old black dog in the road.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's when you're really tired, and I've actually experienced that before, and it's not a fun feeling.
Right, exactly. Now when I come to work over here, when he's American Freightways, when I come over to work over here, a couple guys I knew told me how to build a radio box, and they said, get you a piece of 3/4 inch plywood, get you some foam, and make you a little bed, and you just lay it across the seats, and then you lay across the seats and take you a little nap. And we had to do that a lot at some of our terminals because you had to wait on freight. And I got up there on 469 in Fort Wayne before I was out of Toledo. It was a Saturday morning, man. I was tired. I got my board out and I laid there. And I was only going to lay there 15, 20 minutes, Next thing I know, I'm sweating. Sun's up. Sun's coming in that windshield. I must have laid there 4 hours. I'm like, thank God it's a Saturday. That's all I got to say. Thank God it's a Saturday. Oh, shoot. But, man, I'm telling you.
I sing a lot out there, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Yes.
Raised 6 kids, though.
Hey,
on a trucker salary.
It's been a good career for sure. I've raised 2 kids, one son. My son, he's a nurse practitioner. My daughter, she's an educator. So, hey, you always want your kids to do better than you. And this trucking industry has been good to me for sure.
Oh, big time. Big time.
Made a lot of good friends out there on the highway and in the city too.
That's right.
A lot of good guys. Not a lot of nice people.
Yeah, you had a lot of fun. And, you got bad days like today. I spent probably 3 or 4 hours of my day fighting snow and ice and everything else. But you know what? I got out of it. The road cleared up a little bit. And I just got to thinking, one bad day in the last 6 months, oh, well. I'll go home, go to bed, get up, do it all over again tomorrow. I wouldn't do anything different. I really wouldn't.
I just got a comment from Mindy. From Mindy Rathgens. I know, I don't know if I'm saying her last name right. Mindy, you call the show. I don't want to put this on the air, but I want you to call the show, Mindy, and tell us about this experience that you had here. And Mindy, that number is 251-616-2151. But yeah, I tell you what, Mike, one of my first experiences whenever I was with American Freightways, I come over from Transys. My first day when they expanded the Florida region, I was a city driver. I was a city driver for about 8 years, and we was loading freight left and right. Man, we had more freight than what we knew to do with trying to get it, delivered. And I was pretty experienced with the areas that I run. I hooked up to that trailer. I loaded the trailer full, top to bottom to back. Even had my pallet jack turned upside down. That's how tight it was in there to get in there on top of a pallet, right? And I go over there, and I'm going over there to my first stop in Homerville, Georgia, and I back up to the dock. It's Brockway Standard. They make 10 cans for paints, and I back up there, and I get out, and I go back there, and I go to open my door, and I was like, oh, my door's open. Okay, where's my freight? I hooked up to the wrong trailer and pulled an empty all the way over there. And my first day on the job, and I'm like, this don't look good right here. But
oh,
You know, that's some of them.
Oh man.
It's some of them memories that you never forget. That you never forget. I tell you, and
Mm-mm.
and I wouldn't trade them. I would not trade them for nothing. I really wouldn't. So yeah, the trucking industry's been good to me. Hey, Mike.
Another quick one is
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mike.
that old International I drove, truck number 33. Still remember it. And the floorboard was rotting out on it.
Yeah.
So I was complaining the water would get in the truck and had to keep your feet on the clutch all the time. Came in and thought, man, got a new man on the truck. Hooked up, didn't pay much attention to it, went around the corner. There was no stop sign. The mechanic, old drunk that worked for my dad and uncle, went out, took the stop sign down, tack welded it to the floor.
Oh Lord.
I wouldn't have a hole in the floor anymore in the truck.
Yep. Oh, so Mike, tell us a little bit about your ministry there before you go.
Oh, okay. Well, I hooked up with you guys. I don't know if Steve knows Roy, but I know you've heard talk about him, Tim.
Yeah.
We got involved with the Teamsters Disaster Relief, and it went haywire. So we decided to do something locally, and we go out after such a wasteful country we live in. It's horrible to say. We go out and get donations of clothing.
Yeah.
Because you do the food, you got to have all the food served. Yeah, we get quite a bit of building materials from Home Depot and Amazon. We get clothing from so many different people. We get water and drinks, and we go wherever they need us. I mean, we've been to Joplin, New Orleans, Texas, Kansas. Well, came down to Georgia, seen Brother Tim.
Valdosta.
God
Yep.
put it on my heart to reach out to him.
Right. Yep.
And then we were doing a giveaway. We got 5 or 6 big loads of clothing in. We were doing a giveaway, and some young lady had a T-shirt on from down there in Valdosta.
Yeah.
She lived down that way. She went home for Christmas, took some more stuff with her.
Oh,
I thought, holy cow.
that
But
is.
we made so many good friends. Our buddy Herschel out of Atlanta. What a prince. What a great guy.
Oh yeah, Mike. I got another call coming. I want to give everybody a chance to get on there. But man, thank you for calling and
Go ahead, brother.
take care of yourself. Okay.
Thanks, Mike.
Hey, welcome to Truckers Voices. Who do I have on the air here?
Hello? Oh,
Welcome to
Hello.
Truckers Voices. Who do we have on there? Let me let's see if we hooked up there. We may have lost our Wi-Fi again.
uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well,
Hey, are you there on there? Hello.
sound like somebody's there.
Yeah, let me call them back, okay?
Okay.
But go ahead and
Sounds good.
talk there, Steve. Tell us a story that you had there.
I ain't got no stories. You know me, I'm a quiet type. I don't say much, but yeah, talk about the goofy things that we've done over the years. You learn by experience, but long story short, I would, if I had to do over it again, I'd do it the same way. I
Right,
really
right.
would. I really would.
Hey, welcome to Truckers Voices. Who do we have here?
This is Mindy Rathjen.
Hey, Mindy, thank you for calling. I didn't want to put that comment out. I wanted you to tell us that story that you just put in the chat there for us a while ago.
I was running line haul and I was coming off a 4-lane onto a 2-lane. And
Okay.
it was foggy, freezing fog. And I could have swore somebody was walking on the shoulder, and I get up to it and it was a mailbox. I felt pretty stupid.
Hey, don't worry. I was coming off the Florida Turnpike one night about 3:00 in the morning, and I was running with some other guys, and I was on the CB, and I said, "Hey, I just seen a horse on the side of the road," and they all gave me a hard time. Oh, now you're gonna see pink horses with polka dots, and they gave me a hard time. But we come back through there the next night, and right near Wildwood. and keyed up on the radio on channel 19. I said, "Hey, driver, did anybody hear anybody get in an accident last night up here on the turnpike?" And they said, "Yeah, there's a horse on the side of the road." So I wasn't seeing things that night, Mindy.
No, you weren't.
No. But hey, Mindy, how long have you been in the trucking industry?
32 years.
32 years. That's awesome. So
It
have you been with the same company the whole 32 years, or have you driven for someone else?
I've been with like 4 companies, but I've spent probably over half of it with FedEx Freight.
I got you. And
Nice.
you're running line haul now with them?
No, I'm a city driver.
Oh, God bless you. Hey, you what keeps us going. You pick up the freight for me and Steve to haul it down the highway.
exactly, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. It's not an easy job though. I don't see any other women in my area doing LTL. It's definitely challenging at times.
I guarantee you. Now, what area are you out of, Mindy?
I am out of the Midwest. I'm in Iowa.
Okay, all right. Steve, who do we have road team wise that works out of the Iowa area for OD? What's our
OD?
sister's name?
Yeah, it's Rhonda Hartman.
Yeah, Rhonda
Rhonda,
Hart.
yeah.
Rhonda, yeah, Rhonda.
Yep, I compete with her at the TDCs.
Yeah, she's one of our sister captains there, and I understand that you just went through the process not too long ago, and you had a great mentor there, for what I heard.
Yes, Mr. Wayne.
Yeah, Mr.
Crowder.
He is a legend. He is a legend for sure.
Yes, he is.
And
I'll tell you what, the gentleman that I was competing with, I can't say enough about them. And one of them is in your chat.
yeah,
And I have the utmost respect for them gentlemen.
yeah. I heard that you guys made it hard on them up there. You know, I was actually mentoring the guys out of the Southeast here, but I heard that you guys made it hard on them up there. So I did mentor.
What do you mean hard?
You know, as far as trying to decide,
Oh,
yeah, who to pick, because you all did a great job.
well, to be honest with you, Tim, I was shocked because I wasn't initially going to apply for it.
Right.
And my center manager was like, well, what do you got to lose? The worst thing that could be is you just don't get picked.
Right.
You know, you never know unless you try.
Right.
So I applied and I didn't think nothing of it.
Right.
And one of the guys that was a finalist sent me a private message on Facebook and said, "Congratulations on being in the top 6." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Oh, go check your emails." So I went and checked it, and I sat there and cried like a baby.
Oh, it is a great.
Like, who would have thought? You know, me.
Right.
But I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was very challenging.
Yes, and you learn something that you can build on for next time that you give it a try, whether it be for FedEx Freight Road Team or either America's Road Team. You know, I would encourage you to try out for both of them.
Yes.
Well, I actually got asked in 2023 to apply for the Iowa Road Team,
Right.
Oh, that'd be
and I
nice.
thought, I was like, no, I don't want to travel.
Yeah.
And Brenda was like, we would just stay in Iowa. And I was like, no, I just want to go to work and then go home. And then 2023 happened and I got my first experience at Nationals. And so it got my mind kind of thinking a little bit outside the box.
Right.
Right.
So when I applied for the road team, that was so out of my comfort zone
Right.
that I was proud of myself that I didn't back out, to be honest.
Right. Well, I commend you for it, and like I said, you have one of the best mentors, and just build on what you've learned. And don't give up. Try it again. I would. There's a lot of us out here that hasn't made it our first time, trying out for it. So don't give up.
Well, and I actually talked to Don Logan afterwards, like a week later, and I was like, so can you kind of give me my strengths and my weaknesses on why I wasn't selected? And he goes, well, you don't smile enough for one. Kind of, more or less, that's how he said it. And he goes, but your video and your speech were very, very good, and you just need to elaborate more on your personal interview.
Right.
He goes, but you got to smile.
Right.
Because you kind of like you were mean mugging us or something. And so that was my own fault.
Anybody that tries to do a speech and smile at the same time, it's like, chewing gum and walking and keeping it in sync. It's hard to do. It is one hard thing to do,
Yep.
Well, I hope Matt ends up calling in because I competed with him for that.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, like I said, I have the utmost respect for them guys.
Right. I don't think Matt's going to be able to call in tonight. He sent a message here. I don't think he's going to be able to call in tonight, but maybe we'll get Matt on the show sometime soon.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah. Well, Mindy, thank you for calling Truckers Voices. I really didn't want to put that message on the air. I wanted you to do it. And hey, don't be a stranger to the show. Maybe we can have you come on one night and we'll give you a full hour here.
Oh no, I don't think y'all get too bored.
No, the hour goes by so fast. We like to hear how you got in the trucking industry from starting to present. So, but anyway,
Exactly.
Mindy, yeah, thank you for calling in and have a great one and a great weekend there.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Mindy.
So Steve, we got a friend of the show that's watching tonight. I hope he's still online there. I'm not sure, but Wayne Williams is watching us tonight. Wayne, how you doing, brother? Long time no see or no hear from there. Wayne, if you can hear me, give us a call at the show, 251-616-2151. But I want to thank everybody tonight that's chimed in on the chat, everybody that called in. I'll go ahead and give some shout outs here, Steve. I see that we had Matt on here. I see that Michael Middleton's on here, Mike Kohler, Matt Simon, Wayne Williams, Maria Harrison, Mindy, Damon, Wayne Ponsky, and quite a few people. Scott Post, Lloyd Howell. I mean, we've had quite a few people that's come in tonight, and we appreciate y'all being our listening audience tonight. Everybody here and everybody over on YouTube, we really appreciate it.
Yes, we appreciate everybody giving us this opportunity and everything else. And I hope my mic's a little louder now. I don't know what I did different, but twisted a couple knobs. You know how it is. You know how it is out there on the big road. Just twist them knobs as far to the right. And that thing, you have a big radio.
Oh,
that's what some MCB shops used to do. They get in, they cut that top off and act like they're doing something in there, and they just twist all them knobs to the right and just say, yell into it. You got a big radio.
If anybody wants to call in, I'm going to leave the line open just for a few more minutes. And if you want to call in, 251-616-2151. I know we're over the hour now, but I want to hear from you. I want to chat with you for a few minutes. So anybody that wants to call in, Lonnie Walker, I see you're in here. Michael Middleton, if you want to call in and give us a shout here, it'd be fine too. 251-616-2151. But Steve, while we're waiting on a call, if it comes in, it comes in. If it don't, right. we will just end the show here in just a few minutes. But Steve, tell us about one of your strangest things that happened to you out there in the trucking industry.
Oh Lord, I don't know. It's not been that much, but there has been a few strange things. I witnessed what I thought was an accident, but it wasn't an accident.
Yeah.
And this guy gets out of his car. I thought he hit the guardrail. And, but he ended up just being drunk and stupid.
Yeah.
And and I didn't have a cell phone or nothing back then, but that was back when most police monitored Channel 9 or they had a base station or something, and you get somebody. But I mean, I thought he was hurt, and the guy started doing to me like that guy did to you down there in that bathroom. He just started talking all over the place, and I'm like, man, I don't know about this, I go up there and get on the radio, and they sent an officer out there, and I sat in my truck watching this fool to make sure he didn't walk out in traffic or something. But that cop looked at me and he said, what happened? I said, I thought he hit the guardrail. I really did. And I mean, it's just the way the traffic was and everything. But he just pulled over. And I
Right.
thought he hit the guardrail, so I pulled over to check on him, and I think he was a little drunk, but
Right, right.
it's just, but
You know,
yeah, I tell you what though, I do got a recent story of something weird. We was coming up, me and the guy that runs in front of me. I run second now. We're coming across there, and all of a sudden, I said, "Where's all the traffic?" It's up there on 76, there, right, just right about exit 43.
mhm.
And I said, "Chuck, where's all the traffic?" He said, "I don't know, but check his truck out coming at you." And it was a blue Freightjager and sleeper, and he was pulling I think it was an Atlas van lines, and he had knocked the back frame off of that trailer, and
Yeah.
the back doors was laying on the ground, and he was dragging them down the road running 65, 70 mile an hour.
Oh, Lord help.
So I'm watching him in the mirror, and he gets off at exit 43. And I said, "Where's all the traffic?" And, Chuck wasn't trying to be a smart aleck or nothing, but he said, probably where he wrecked it, he's probably got everything stopped. Well, he did.
Right.
We got down the road about 2 miles, and when you're coming eastbound, you come down the hill, and he had went in the median, just nicked the cables, come out of the median, crossed the interstate, hit the bridge above it, pulled the back end of the trailer off, and knocked the walls in. He had them people's household moving goods, furniture, clothes, everything scattered over that highway, completely shut down the highway. I mean, here's furniture laying out there, clothes laying out there, and everything. I don't know. We laughed about that for a couple of days. I mean, this guy tore the back doors off the trailer, and they're dragging the ground. I mean, it just hammered down. So we told one of the snowshoe guys to get off, a certain exit and drop down to the frontage road down there. I said, "You can get back on up there at exit 43." And I said, "Give us a call. Let us know if that truck's around." He called us back. He said, "Nah, I didn't see no truck anywhere." I have no idea where that truck went to. I have no idea. But he hit that bridge of Buckland and tore that trailer up, had them people's clothes all over the place and furniture. Good Lord. I told Chuck, I said, right there, just when you think you see the dog, nope, you see something else. Something else comes up,
That's right.
So,
Yeah, I tell you what, I've witnessed stuff out on the Florida Turnpike when I used to run nights. One night I was running. It was when I was with American Freightways, and I was coming back, and I look in my rear view mirror, and all of a sudden I see a car come across the road behind my trailers, spinning around like this. I mean, just around, and I'm like, "Oh my Lord!" I seen it go up on an embankment. And then I'm still looking because I've already slowed down to see what was going to happen, whether I needed to assist or not. And all of a sudden, headlights come back down and they get on the highway and they just go. I'm like, well, what in the world,
Did the
But-
360 and said, "I'm out of here, boys. I'm gone."
Yeah. Right. And it's really crazy at some of the stuff that you see out here. Even now, even today, some of the lane changes that I've seen, even today, it doesn't surprise me anymore. I'm not surprised about anything about the way some folks drive.
No, it doesn't shock you. I mean, it's like we're numb to it.
Right.
And, we our biggest thing with Share the Road is distracted driving.
Right.
And man, I'm telling you, you see people doing some of the weirdest things going down the road while they're working on their laptops or texting on their phone. They're lighting a cigarette, trying to polish their shoes and get dressed, and I don't know what all. And it's like, what? Yeah, I have no idea, man. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. There's no way I would try half the stuff some of these people do.
All right, let's take this call here.
All right, then.
Hey, welcome to Truckers Voices. Who do we have on the line here? Oh, they hung up. That was short-lived. Hey, if you just tried to call, please call back. Oh, I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll try to call the number back. Maybe it's somebody, maybe it's somebody we know. I hope it is.
They might be trying to sell you some insurance or or some winners or?
I wish we would get a spam call.
Hello.
Hey, this is Tim from Trucker's Voices. Sorry we missed your call. Who do we have here?
This is Damon Evans out in California. How's it going?
Hey, brother Damon, how you doing, man?
How you doing, David?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. Good to catch the show tonight.
Yeah, thank you for calling, Damon. I've been watching you guys in the chat there, and especially you captains, talk back and forth there. But Damon, thank you for calling in. How's it been going on your end over there on the West Coast?
Well, I'm in Northern California, so we're not dealing with any of the fires or anything like that. Actually, the weather has been perfect for January. Last year at this time, we had a monsoon, but right now, man, it's been in the 60s every day. The sun's shining, not a cloud in the sky. So we're having a good time out here.
Right.
Can you send some of that to Ohio, please? We'll take some of that.
I'm sure you guys could use it, man. We'll send it that way.
Please, thank you.
Even the South Georgia, of all places, it's cold down here in South Georgia, Damon.
Well, my son works for FedEx Ground. He's ASM in Texas.
Right.
And he called me and said, "It is so cold out here, Dad." I'm like, "It's not cold here." I'm still wearing shorts.
I got you, Damon. Tell us. Go ahead, Steve. You got something? Go ahead.
I was just going to make a comment on how cold it was here the other morning. It was single digits with below double digit wind chill. It was so cold. Whenever I was sitting down there at the traffic light, I seen a beagle hound trying to push start a rabbit just so he had something to do. That's cold, buddy.
Well, that's one thing I don't do. One thing I don't do is cold. And when we were at selections in Washington, D.C. last year, man, those guys that are on the chat will tell you I had thermals and gloves and hats. I tell you, man, I do not do the cold.
Well, Damon, let me tell you, at every selection, even back in 2017, 2018, when Steve and I was going through selection, it wasn't no different. I mean, it's just they picked the coldest time of the year to do it, But it is what it is. And but hey, tell us a little bit about your trucking career. How just kind of quickly tell us how long you've been trucking and who you started with and all that.
So my entire trucking career has been with United Parcel Service, and I started out 35 years ago. Started out part-time loading the trucks. Then I started delivering for about 12 years, and for the last 18, 19 years, I've been driving a big rig. And I see Ben Atkinson, another road team captain who was in selection, just text me and says, "I hear your voice." But and so I've been with United Parcel Service. I'm a city kitty, but I also had the pleasure of going to Jacksonville, Florida, and then I went into Texas on a team drive, which was an experience within itself. As a matter of fact, I was headed out of Houston going into Louisiana. And there's this long bridge. It's like a causeway or something like that. And my team driver said, "Man, if you look over, you might see a gator." And lo and behold, I'm driving down the road, and there's a gator. And I could not believe my eyes that I saw a gator swimming in that causeway down there.
Now, was that in Jacksonville?
We were headed to Jacksonville, but we were right outside of Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
I got you.
On the 10.
Not surprised about the gator. You can see them everywhere. But Damon, so, it was great meeting you at selections and all. And, I saw you in the chat a while ago. I had the opportunity of playing the bad guy as far as the mock media interview goes, but I kind of had fun with it too. So you can kind of tell that story if you will.
Well, so we're already nervous, and so I think we were doing the personal interviews, and so Tim, he starts to interview me, starts asking questions, and he steps up in my face. And he gets closer and closer. And we had just had the training. They said, "Don't back up. don't back up. And so I didn't back up. But he got really, really close to me, and he tapped me in my chest with the mic, and all I did was look at him and look down and see the microphone and look back up and like, did he just hit me?
Oh, I was just trying to get you off your game, but you did well, man. You did exactly what they had, trained you to do there.
Yeah, well, we really appreciate the process, man. And I met a bunch of great guys.
Yes.
I mean, some great guys. I mean, these will be friendships that'll last for eternity, man. I mean, a whole world opened up to me that I didn't know existed. Being with United Parcel Service and just being a city guy, you don't really get out that much.
Right.
Now getting the chance to volunteer at one of the TDCs, man, what a great time and a great opportunity we had out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you're right. You meet friends for life. And I tell you what, this year in October, I believe you guys will have your MC&E and you guys will come back together for the last time there. But I tell you, in like 2 years, we told you 2 years will go by really fast.
Yes.
It seems like yesterday, man. I was flying off to DC to survive the blizzard. I mean, remember, we got about an inch of snow, but I told everyone I'd survived the blizzard. Northern California doesn't get that kind of snow, at least in the Bay Area, we don't.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, Damon, thank you for calling Truckers Voices. We would love to have you on the show one night. I normally don't really do a full interview with the current road team captains, but we would love to have you after the fact when your term's up and just come on and tell us all about your story and how you got into trucking, and just give us an hour there if you could do that sometime in the future.
Oh, man, I would love to. That would be great. Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Well,
sir. Thank you.
all right, Captain. Thank you for calling in, and have a good night, and be careful out there.
All right. Talk to you soon.
See ya.
Take care, Damon.
Yeah, I was glad Damon called in.
It's funny. He talks about how cold it was out there. You remember in 2017? I mean, it was cold that night, that Sunday when we took off on the tour.
It was cold.
And it was cold. It was cold, and I was about half sick anyway when I got there, and I was getting over it. And I woke up Monday morning, and Monday we had to do our speeches and personal interview first and speech. And I woke up, and my roommate, he said, "Good morning, sunshine," and I sound like a 13-year-old going through puberty. I couldn't talk, dude. I mean, I was down the stairs, across the street, with the Harris Teeter or whatever that was over there. And buddy, I was a chugging what I could chug. I was a gargling hot salt water. I was doing everything I could, man. And I couldn't talk. It's like, oh man.
I know. I think everybody had gotten sick. I know I got sick after I got home from that trip. I had gotten the flu, but this last group got sick too. Some of these guys got sick too on this last group. So I just think it's being around a lot of people, and I think it's just being around a group of people like that.
I think so. And then, you're flying, so you're in a small congested area, and
Right.
that's, I take that emergency every morning. I drink it, and try to keep myself healthy. Try. And,
Right.
but you just can't help it. I mean, you're gonna get a little sniffle, and they got that flu running around here, and that respiratory thing, it just hangs around, and but we're getting ready to go on a cruise in February, and so I told my wife, I said, start medicating yourself, get your immune system up, because you're gonna be on an airplane, and then you're gonna be around all them people, and all them germs, and but
Right.
yeah, I don't know, it is what it is. So
Yep.
but,
Well, Steve, you hear the music in the background, so that means it's time to wrap the show up and give the post-trip to show. We want to thank all the listening audience for listening tonight, calling in. Love seeing y'all in the chat there, interacting with each other. That's awesome. That is awesome to see there. So we want to thank y'all. Steve, words of advice of encouragement and safety for you.
words of advice: slow down. Slow down. If it starts raining, snowing, sleeting, anything like that, slow down. Take your time. Whether you're hauling freight or it doesn't matter what it is, they can't use it till you get there. Just slow down and relax. But like I always say, the most important trip is the trip home. That's where you want to go, and especially on Thursday nights, you want to get home so you see us.
That's right.
Call us, talk to us on podcast.
Truckers Voices.
Truckers Voices. I mean, that's the only way to be. But hey, enjoyed the show.
Yeah,
and,
good show.
Appreciate everybody calling in and telling stories and everything. It's just kind of like the old Truckers Round Table at the old 76 truck stop. Back when they had them, everybody sit around, swap lies, and carry on. But with that being said, that's what's wrong with trucking today, is they don't have those type truck stops anymore. And you used to be able to walk in there, and I remember when I first started 36 years ago, I could walk in there with my notebook and my Rand McNally, and I could ask a question, and I guarantee you somebody at that table said, I've been where you're going. It's how you get there, it's how you get in, and you get directions, and but don't have them round tables anymore. Shoot,
nope.
McDonald's only got 3 booths now. They don't even want you hanging around in them McDonald's. They want you to pick your little menu on the board, pay your money, and get out of here.
It's been a great night. Thank y'all for joining Truckers Voices. Y'all join us right here next week. We're going to have Laura Cyrus from Truckers Against Trafficking on here, and we're going to be highlighting Human Trafficking Awareness Month. We do that every January, so y'all come right back here on Truckers Voices next week. Hey, remember, it's almost the weekend, so there's going to be a lot more people traveling out there, getting to and fro where they're going. And all I can tell you right now is drive safe, deliver success, and lead the way. See you next week on Truckers Voices. Enjoy this the song here. It's made especially for Truckers Voices.
Out on the blacktop, the moon hanging low. 2 truckers riding where the big rigs roll. Tool man's got a story, 10 speed's got a laugh. They're spinning tales on the radio path with a CB buzz and a coffee cup. They're rolling hard, never giving up. From coast to coast, their words take flight to kings on the highway, rolling through the night. It's 10 speed and 2-man tales from the road. Stories of the weigh-ins and heavy loads. From the desert sands to the Great Smoky Pines, they're sharing their lives 1 mile at a time. Remember that time in Amarillo town? We broke down the truck, but still made it round. Toolman grinned and the diner burned out, but we got a pie before they shut it down. 10 speed chuckle, how about that storm? Lightning so close, it kept the rig warm. They swapped their stories like an old school jam, just 2 truckers living off the land. It's 10 speed and 2-man tales from the road. Stories of the weigh-ins and heavy loads. From the desert sands to the Great Smoky Pines, they're sharing their lives 1 mile at a